Biden says federal government will cover 100% of costs for initial LA fire recovery. Thank heavens. You know, when that hurricane ripped through the Trump districts, I'm glad they didn't help anyone. And now that it's all progressives, largely 80%, who are being impacted, I'm glad to hear that Biden's going to pay for all of it.
Did your district get smashed up by the hurricane?
No, we did not. We're on the coast, so we skated on that one. But the upper part of my state got totally torn up. Counties and cities were cutting their way out. That much damage was done. And I know people both in North and South Carolina, I'm in South Carolina, but North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee, that applied for their $750 check, that had thousands of dollars of damage on their property and got rejected, got turned down. And so it's clear this is, buying votes right now, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it in conservative states, southern states. We weren't going to help people who got damaged by the hurricane. People are still begging for hotel vouchers. There was someone in Asheville tonight. I sent it over to Chuck Edwards, his office today, or we were supposed to be doing that on our way over here, actually. But people are still don't have a place to live in Asheville, North Carolina because of the hurricane and can't get hotel vouchers to stay. They're going to be homeless. People that lost everything. And now, because you live in a Democrat state, everything's being paid for the next.
Well, these are also the people that donated to Biden and Harris. So this is like the kickback.
With the
That's right.
When the
you get what you pay for.
With the hurricanes, what did they get? The people that were affected by the hurricane, was there government funding?
Well, this real quick. This is specifically they're talking about debris cleanup and like reconstruction stuff. I don't know that they're saying they're giving people money. I'm saying they're allocating resources to LA with higher priority than these districts that were damaged by the hurricane that are still suffering.
Yeah. I mean, the southern states are still suffering. The places that got hit hardest, there are still trees on the ground in some of those places. And some people, particularly in western North Carolina, don't have a home still. And that's what's so crazy and very, very sad. And now we're going to have devastation. These people are losing everything in California. I mean, everything. And it's a disaster, but they're benefiting greater than the southern states with the hurricane.
And the federal government's coming in to supplement, because the state government ran the insurance company out of town because they were trying to do price controls on what the insurance cost of homeowners insurance was going to be. But the reason that the insurance companies were trying to raise the prices is because they were doing assessments as to the risk of fire and stuff like that because of the policies that the state had about cleaning.
Well, and also the state of California spent last year $23 billion on illegal immigrants. I would love to know how far that $23 billion would go today to help these folks that are devastated from these fires across LA. Yeah. How far would that go? A very long way. But instead, open borders, billions of dollars to illegals, America last.
I don't get it. I know we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but I got to bring it up. You had a bill. Criminal, sex offender, illegal immigrants got to go. Democrats are like, nah, that's all right. They can stay. I don't understand how this country has gotten to this point where there is a very clear, rational, logical, maybe we should have water in our reservoirs for fires. Maybe this country should give, equal funding to repairs for any district, regardless of what it is. How are we at this point where Democrats are just overt in their willful destruction of the country?
100%. And there were 158 Democrats last year in September voted against deporting criminal, illegal aliens who are here, who are convicted rapists, who are pedophiles, who are murderers. They said, nah, man, they should just stay in the United States. That's what they voted on. And we've refiled the bill last Friday. It's one of 12 bills in the House rules package that are being considered right now, one of 12 bills. So it'll be voted on next week. And we'll see if Democrats are willing to apologize now and vote for it this time. We were reaching out to Senator Fetterman's office this week, too, because he might be the only Democrat that logically might actually co-sponsor a bill like that. Once we get it over to the Senate and support it, it's just logic. Like, if you're here illegally, you're a rapist, you're a murderer, you're a pedophile, you're the first one to go. Like, if we're talking about deporting everybody, let's start with the worst of the worst, and that is these guys.
Similarly, in the UK, there was a vote on the inquiry into the grooming gangs, and the Labour Party said no.
2/3 of the MPs voted against. Yep.
It sounds
I just don't understand. How is this possible?
Yeah,
are these literal demons?
Was it like a bill attached to something else?
No, my bill was just standalone, single subject bill in September. It got a vote, came out of Judiciary. It is coming out again next week. It's H.R. 30. Last year was H.R. 7909. It'll be back out. I had 51 Democrats vote for it last time, 158 vote against. What we just saw, 2 nights ago, the Laken Riley Act, 159 Democrats voted against the Laken Riley Act, which was deporting thieves and robbers who are here illegally, shoplifters, basically.
Why?
And they voted against that.
Why? Because they say why?
It's the politics of nice and now. Like we need people that are we need people that aren't afraid to do things that aren't immediately nice, that have a long-term goal that is a positive outcome for society, as opposed to a short-term goal that is a positive outcome for the immediate person that they're talking about affecting.
At the end of the day, they want them to vote in our elections. They want to fundamentally change the face of the country in any way, shape, or form. They want one party, and they will do anything at all costs, including trying to kill Donald Trump over and over again until they are successful, because that is the world that we live in right now. They want to destroy the fabric of our country, and that's what they're doing bit by bit. This is the communist, fascist, Marxist way, is to disable a country one bit at a time. They have been very successful at local politics for decades. We have gotten behind on that. And, thank God we have groups like Moms for Liberty and other groups that are out there that are going bit by bit back to the school boards, back to the county councils, back to the city councils, and trying to rebuild what is so broken in this country. And we have to have bold leadership. I'm done being nice. I came into Congress being very nice, being fair, being very welcoming, giving everybody a shot. I am sick and tired of it. I've been red pilled now for 4 years. I'm like, I'm done. The media, I am done. These leftists, these Democrats, they are bad for the country.
Based on where we are right now, where do you think we end up in 8 years?
Well, if we're successful, I'd say, I don't even know that we have 18 months. I think we have 12. And I don't know, it depends on where we get there. But if we can make some really tough decisions over the next 12 years, conservative, bold, we have to deport people. If we don't deport people, what was this for? We have to look at spending, the cost of groceries and all those things. And we have to protect women. That's what I'm doing with the Sarah McBride thing. That we win on all these fronts, but we have to do it. And I don't know that the Senate has a stomach for it. I think the House does. I don't know if the Senate does.
I think Pam Bondi and Kash Patel need to launch a series of investigations into the lawfare against Trump and conservatives. And I think there's a lot of instances of what would be described as conspiracy against rights. So the case, Donald Trump, the sentencing, again, we'll talk about this in a second. This is very clearly fake. And if the federal government doesn't intervene to shut down what is clearly a rogue state, then we cease to exist.
People have to be arrested. People have to be indicted. They have to be investigated. They have to be charged with crimes, and they have to serve jail time. That is where we are right now, because if the government can get away with it, and they are, and they're spitting in our faces as they do it, they can get away with everything. And at some point, and I sit on these hearings, like I'm in Congress because I was fed up and angry with the direction of the country, but I sit in these hearings and we have these fights. People get their information on X and post their videos and do their media interviews, but then nothing ever happens. Nobody ever goes to jail. No one ever gets really, truly investigated. No one ever gets impeached. Truly, it's just the same thing that always happens, but this time has to be different. If we don't do that, we're going to be in the same place in 8 years from now where we are today. And I love what's happening with the MAGA movement, and what we have with X right now and Elon. Like, you all are the media. You guys are the media now. You're telling the truth. You're putting the truth out there every single day, all day.
It's very decentralized. And when I see the ratings for CNN in the gutter, the only concern is YouTube props them up. So when you go to youtube.com, they put CNN, MSNBC up on top. Fox News too, but Fox News is okay. They're not perfect, but they're good. I like Jesse Waters. I like Gutfeld. They're fantastic. So we're still up against CNN, MSNBC. We can rag on them all day and night, and we should. Cable is dead, but they're still. And my fear is,
and they censor on YouTube. I mean, they're censoring conservative.
So Rumble's
voices.
fantastic. We love Rumble too. We put all of our videos. So guys, Timcast.com, all of our videos. Rumble's infrastructure. Our membership, when you sign up at Timcast.com, uses parallel economy. Let me stress this. If you want to support the likes of Dan Bongino and Chris Pavlovsky and Rumble and the things they're building, Timcast.com, sign up to be a member. Parallel economy is the financial service we use. It is, I don't know who founded it, but I know Dan's involved and Rumble are like the principal stakeholders in this financial transaction service. So you're not just helping us, you're helping them, you're building the parallel economy, and we have to create spaces they can't shut us down and censor us from.
Yeah, mesh networks, because central controllers are dangerous, whether it's your ISP or your website like YouTube, whether it's Verizon that can turn off your access to the internet. And then
That's a lot harder to do, but I would meet you halfway and say decentralized media, which is where we are, so that if everybody's relying on one show, it takes one national security letter to shut down a news story. But if you've got 1,000 news shows, there's no way you're going to suppress the information. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.